I started out trying to write a biopic of William Moulton Marston, and I couldn't write it. I just kept trying, and I was like, I get this guy. I've read everything he's ever written or something, but what the hell with his wife? So, and then I was like, she was supposedly really brilliant, smarter than him, and then ended up working as a secretary for the rest of her life. And then I stumbled on the detail that Olive and Elizabeth lived together for 40 years after Marston died, and I was like, whoa! Like, because I thought I was writing a movie about a guy who had a wife and a mistress, and they all lived together, and then I was like, wait, what? Like, they and slept in the same bed, and then Elizabeth named her daughter after Olive, and then I was just like, hold on here, we got a different story that I thought we were telling, that I thought I was telling, and so then I kind of scrapped it and started over, and then I was like, okay, like I couldn't tell, I started shifting around perspectives, and so I realized that in order to tell this story, my first thing is that I just wanted to tell an organic love story between these three people and have it be that, I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, okay, I'm writing this movie, and it's about these two married professors, and they fall in love with their student, and then they kind of invent the lie detector, and then they all hook up, and then they're poly, and then they live together, and then they get into bondage, and then he's a psychologist, and that kind of, all works into the creation of Wonder Woman, and I want America to root for their love. And she was like, that's a tall order. But to do so, the movie actually shifts perspectives around. So there's a series of handoffs throughout the film and I think it's kind of interesting how the first half of the movie works, because in a good way, it destabilizes the viewer in the protagonist. Like, you go in thinking it's totally his story because of the conventions of the genre, and then he's being interviewed, and then he's giving his lecture in the beginning, and then it hands off to Elizabeth Marston, and then she literally takes the mic and starts saying, into the lab, and it kind of does this round robin where you're not sure. I actually think it's a lot of working in television that opened me up to shifting their perspectives. But the thing that I am most proud of in the film is that there's many things, but just as far as the writing, the inciting incident for all the writer people is Elizabeth says, go ahead, you can have sex with her. Do you mean, so he's given the mantle, so the following scene should be Marston pursuing Olive. But instead, I cut to a scene between Olive and Elizabeth where she's like, don't fuck my husband. But you're supposed to, as just a narrative viewer, you're like, okay, the wife says husband can have sex with younger woman, and then the next thing should be his protagonism. I'm going after the woman, and then it should be after that, wife mad that he went after, and I was like, let's just shift it by cutting to somebody, her point of view, when you think you should follow his point of view. And then we go to Olive's point of view, which is super weird, but you're kind of doing this dance around. And the movie became a tripod. It didn't make sense until I kept checking in with each of them. And additionally, I became totally obsessed with consent. In the film, it became kind of like a meditation on consent. So I just kept having to check in with everybody to be like, are you okay in this scene? Are you okay? But they're always asking each other, are you sure? Are you okay? Is this all right? Do you want to do this? Are you sure? Okay, yes, no. And they're doing this kind of dance between all three of them.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, that's all the time we have, but thank you so much. Thanks to Angela.